Photo, John Breunig, Hearst, Connecticut. Media. Greenwich High School Junior Catherine Young won third place in the Greenwich First Selectman's Community Diversity Advisory Committee's 9th Annual Diversity Writing Contest. Greenwich High School Junior Catherine Young won third place in the Greenwich First Selectman's Community Diversity Advisory Committee's 9th Annual Diversity Writing Contest. Photo, John Breunig, Hearst, Connecticut. Media. Catherine Young essay, As American as Apple Pie. Editor's note, Greenwich High School Junior Catherine Young won third place in the Greenwich First Selectman's Community Diversity Advisory Committee's 9th Annual Diversity Writing Contest. This is her winning essay. It was an easy decision for my parents. My father grew up with 5 siblings, the son of poor rural peasants. My mother was the daughter of uneducated factory workers. Remaining in China would have left them poor, without a single chance to socially advance. After all, they had no connections outside of their respective hometowns, and they often struggled to feed themselves and their family. Finally, in 1979, the Chinese economy was open to the international community and was quickly followed in the 1980s by a surge in emigration to America and Canada. Surprisingly, my parents were part of that surge, joining millions of other immigrants in seeking better job prospects, a safe place to raise their children, and a chance at climbing the social ladder. In short, they were chasing the elusive American dream. While this story is not unique to my parents, each wave of immigrants has been different in terms of its viewpoints and motivations. In contrast, the reaction toward these new immigrants have been met with the same attitude throughout history. Each new wave of immigration to the United States has met with some degree of hostility and popular fears that immigrants will harm American society or will not conform to the prevailing American way of life. However, not only do most of the immigrants that come to the United States assimilate to American communities, they contribute their customs and traditions to society, diversifying the culture of America in a positive and beneficial manner. The diversity that immigrants bring to America should not be a cause for concern, but rather a chance to celebrate and explore our differences. Many American foods have their roots in other cultures. For example, the iconic American apple pie originated from England and Dutch immigrants that was only popularized in the 1900s, and Scottish immigrants in the 1700s brought over the technique of deep frying chicken that evolved into the now famous Southern fried chicken. Italian immigrants during the 1800s were considered to be just a little worse than the Negro, being if anything filthier in their habits, lawless, and treacherous. Yet, today, Italian Americans constitute the 4th largest ancestry group in America and are largely indistinguishable from the average American. No longer do people question whether Italian Americans really belong here, or if they are criminals, terrorists, or spies. To the general populace, they are not European American, or Italian Americans. They are simply Americans. Their culture has permeated our society in such a way that Italian cuisine, such as pizza and pasta, are now popular and staple American foods. Even now, the influx of immigrants from all corners of the globe is shaping the tastes and culture of Americans. On a recent trip to Washington, D.C., I witnessed firsthand the vast array of nationalities represented. There was a row of restaurants advertising cuisine ranging from Lebanese to Vietnamese, Japanese to Mexican. That night, I tried Ethiopian food for the first time in a small restaurant on the street corner with my friends. Instead of utensils, I was given a special kind of bread to scoop up a meal consisting of lentils and chicken. Rather than serve everyone individually, the waitresses instead served a giant platter in the middle of the group. Everything about it was new, the spices, the food, and even the way I was eating my food. This experience was exciting and a refreshing change from the pizza and fast food that I was used to eating. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. These words, inscribed on the Statue of Liberty, have inspired millions of immigrants coming to America, leading to the diversity of ethnic restaurants I witnessed in Washington, D.C. These restaurants not only represent the average immigrant's determination to be self-sufficient, but also their desire to add a piece of their old customs into the melting pot of cultures that makes up American society. Still, it is difficult to focus on the positives of immigration amid the storm of anti-immigration critics. This is unlikely to change, especially considering that for the past 2.5 centuries anti-immigration critics have used the same argument. That immigrants bring in crime and steal jobs. Yet, nothing could be further from the truth. A study done by University of Pennsylvania's Department of Criminology found that the results of this research offer little evidence that immigration increases crime in the United States. If anything, there is some evidence that crime declines after immigrants arrive. The truth is, the shelter promised by Lady Liberty is merely a mirage. Immigrants face an uphill battle as they must deal with language and cultural barriers, xenophobic rhetoric, and isolation from the families they left behind. Rather, Lady Liberty symbolizes the triumph of generations of immigrants that have surmounted the overwhelming odds and created a life for themselves and their posterity. Without the hard work and perseverance of these undervalued members of American society, America, as we know it, would not exist, and Americans would never have the chance to experience the colorful cultures and different perspectives that immigrants bring. The immense influence and diversity that immigrants have over American culture can be easily seen in the impact that European immigrants, like Italians and the Scottish, have had on American cuisine. And in the future, who knows? In a few decades, Ethiopian-style lentils and chicken could be as American as apple pie.